Ancient Roman soldiers conquered vast territories, built roads across continents, and became one of the most feared military forces in history. But behind every successful campaign was something much less glamorous than swords or shields. It was food. The Roman army depended heavily on a reliable diet to survive long marches, harsh weather, and brutal warfare. For the average Roman legionary, meals were usually repetitive and simple. Most soldiers lived on grain, hard bread, salted pork, cheese, and sour wine. Fresh meat was uncommon, especially during campaigns far away from Roman cities. Ordinary soldiers often cooked over open fires beside their tents and ate quickly before continuing their duties. However, not every soldier ate the same food. Roman military life was highly structured and deeply hierarchical. Officers had privileges that ordinary soldiers did not. One of these officers was the centurion. Although the name suggests command over 100 men, a Roman centurion usually commanded around 80 fighting soldiers along with servants and assistants. Centurions were respected leaders within the Roman military system and enjoyed a much higher standard of living than common legionaries. That difference was visible not only in their armor and authority, but also in the meals they ate. Ancient Roman writings reveal an interesting detail about this difference. When writers described ordinary soldiers eating, they used phrases that simply meant to take food. But when speaking about centurions or officers, they used words that meant to dine or to feast. Food reflected social rank within the Roman army. While ordinary legionaries cooked their own rations over campfires, centurions often had servants preparing and serving meals inside private tents. Officers dined together separately from common soldiers and had access to ingredients most legionaries rarely enjoyed. Evidence from Roman forts, such as Vindolanda in northern Britain, along with surviving Roman cookbooks, gives historians clues about the kinds of meals officers may have eaten. One recipe in particular stands out. It is a dish made of pork cooked in wine sauce and served with wheat pulse made from farro. The recipe comes from one of the oldest surviving collections of Roman recipes, known as the Recoquinaria. Although many Roman recipes are brief and difficult to interpret today, this one provides fascinating insight into military food culture in ancient Rome. The recipe begins with fresh pork. For Roman soldiers, fresh meat was not an everyday food. Most military meat was preserved before campaigns even began. Pork was commonly salted, smoked, dried, or turned into sausages and hams so that it could survive long journeys and changing weather conditions. Roman armies relied heavily on preserved foods because they were easier to transport and store. Fresh pork, therefore, represented something more special and less common, especially for officers. Another key ingredient in the recipe is garum. Garum was a fermented fish sauce used throughout the Roman world. Romans added it to countless dishes because it gave food a strong, savory flavor. To modern people, it may sound strange, but to Romans, garum was one of the most popular seasonings available. However, Roman soldiers often preferred plain salt instead. Salt was far more practical during military campaigns because it could preserve meat and other foods while also seasoning meals. Garum required transportation in heavy containers and was less convenient for armies constantly on the move. Evidence suggests that although garum existed near certain military forts, salt was usually more common in military cooking. The dish also includes wine, leeks, dill, pepper, defrutum, and farro. Defrutum was a sweet syrup made from reduced grape juice and was commonly used in Roman cuisine to balance flavors. Farro was an ancient grain and one of the most important foods in Roman society. Grain formed the foundation of the Roman military diet. Historians estimate that grain provided roughly 75% of a Roman soldier's calories. Bread, porridge, and wheat pulse sustained Roman armies far more consistently than meat did. The preparation of a dish begins by cooking the farro slowly in water until soft. The grain could either remain whole or be crushed into a thicker porridge-like texture. While the farro simmers, the pork is lightly browned in olive oil. Once seared, the meat is removed and wine is poured into the pan together with garum or salt. This creates the base for a Roman wine sauce, known as anagarum. Leeks and dill are added to flavor the sauce before the pork is returned to simmer gently. Later, defrutum is added, bringing sweetness to balance the salt and wine. The sauce is eventually mixed into the farro, so the grain absorbs the rich flavors. The result is a meal that is still practical and filling, but noticeably more refined than the ordinary rations of common soldiers. It represents the balance between military necessity and officer privilege within Roman camps. Roman generals sometimes tried to appear humble by publicly sharing simple meals with ordinary soldiers. Ancient writers praise leaders such as Vespasian and Gaius Marius for eating common bread alongside troops. These public displays helped generals appear disciplined and connected to their men. But despite such stories, evidence strongly suggests that Roman officers usually ate much better than ordinary legionaries. Their rank gave them access to better wine, fresh produce, herbs, imported ingredients, and fresh meat whenever it was available. Obtaining food for the Roman army was a massive logistical challenge. Although Rome had advanced supply systems for its time, armies campaigning far from Roman territory could not rely entirely on supplies transported from the empire. Armies often needed to live off the land. Special groups of soldiers gathered food, water, wood, and fodder during campaigns. Some food was purchased peacefully from local populations, while some was taken by force. Herds of cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs frequently traveled alongside Roman armies to provide milk, cheese, and eventually meat. Animals also played an important religious role within Roman military life. Before major battles, armies often sacrificed cattle or other livestock to the gods in ceremonies meant to purify the army and bring victory. Afterward, the meat from these sacrifices would be cooked and distributed among soldiers regardless of rank. For ordinary legionaries, these occasions may have provided rare opportunities to eat fresh meat. Despite the importance of meat, grain remained essential to Roman survival. Historical accounts describe Roman armies suffering badly whenever grain supplies disappeared, even if meat was still available. During some sieges, soldiers survived entirely on fresh beef, but this was considered a desperate situation rather than a luxury. Roman soldiers depended on grain for energy and stability. Meat alone could not sustain an army effectively. That is why this pork and farro dish perfectly represents Roman military food culture. The farro provided the grain that sustained the empire, while the pork and wine sauce reflected the privileges available to higher-ranking officers like centurions. It was not extravagant by aristocratic Roman standards, but within a military camp, it would have been considered a rich and satisfying meal. Fresh meat was valuable in the Roman military, but obtaining it during campaigns was never easy. Roman armies traveled across enormous distances, often deep into hostile territory far from established cities and supply centers. Even though Rome had one of the most advanced logistical systems of the ancient world, it was impossible to transport every necessity directly from the capital or nearby provinces. Because of this, Roman armies frequently had to survive using local resources. Soldiers were sent out regularly to gather food, water, firewood, and animals. Some of these supplies were purchased peacefully from nearby communities, while others were taken through intimidation, forced trade, or outright pillaging. Special groups within the Roman military handled these responsibilities. Some soldiers searched for clean water sources. Others gathered firewood for cooking and warmth. Certain groups focused entirely on collecting grain, vegetables, and livestock. Herds of cattle, sheep, pigs, and goats often traveled alongside Roman armies during campaigns. These animals provided milk, cheese, and eventually fresh meat when needed. But meat was not consumed casually. Every animal represented valuable resources, so slaughtering livestock was usually done carefully and strategically. Animals in Roman military life were not only a food source. They also played an important religious role. Before major battles, Roman armies frequently held ceremonies involving animal sacrifices to the gods. Romans believed these rituals purified the army and increased the chances of victory in battle. During these sacrifices, cattle and other livestock were killed in large numbers. Afterwards, the meat would often be cooked and distributed among the soldiers. For ordinary legionaries, these moments may have been among the few times they regularly enjoyed fresh meat. One example comes from before the Battle of Philippi, when the forces of Brutus and Cassius distributed large numbers of sacrificial cattle among their troops. Ironically, despite these rituals, Brutus and Cassius eventually lost the battle badly against Mark Antony. Some Roman writers even joked that perhaps sacrifices mattered less than the skill of the general commanding the army. Still, these ceremonies remained deeply important within Roman military culture. Fresh meat was useful in more ways than simply feeding soldiers. Roman generals sometimes used food itself as a weapon. During campaigns in Iberia, the famous Roman commander Scipio Africanus once used cattle to lure enemy forces into a trap. He guided a herd into a steep ravine and surrounded the area with hidden javelin throwers. When enemy warriors rushed down to capture the animals, Roman troops attacked suddenly from above. More than a century later, Julius Caesar encountered similar tactics while campaigning in Iberia. In that case, Caesar ignored the cattle entirely and attacked the enemy soldiers directly, defeating them. Food traps became a recurring strategy in ancient warfare. Roman commanders understood that hungry armies made desperate decisions. One Roman general, Tiberius Gracchus, learned that enemy forces were suffering from severe shortages. He deliberately filled a Roman camp with large quantities of food and then abandoned it. Once the starving enemy entered the camp and overate, Roman forces returned suddenly and crushed them. Food became both bait and weapon. Wine could also serve military purposes beyond simple drinking. Another story describes the Numidian general Maharbal setting out large quantities of wine for enemy tribes during a conflict in Africa. However, he secretly mixed the wine with mandrake, a plant known for its sedative effects. After provoking a fight, Maharbal pretended to retreat. The enemy captured the camp, greedily drank the wine, and soon collapsed into deep sleep. Maharbal then returned and either captured or killed them while they were unconscious. These stories reveal how closely food, drink, and warfare were connected in the ancient world. Wine itself was extremely important to Roman soldiers. In fact, it may have been nearly as important as grain. Roman troops often consumed around a liter of wine each day. Wine provided calories and was usually safer to drink than untreated water. Even sour wine or diluted vinegar mixtures helped prevent illnesses such as scurvy during long campaigns. Roman soldiers relied heavily on it for daily survival. Despite all this discussion of meat, grain remained the true foundation of the Roman military diet. Historians estimate that grain accounted for roughly 3/4 of a soldier's total calories. Bread, porridge, and wheat pulse sustained armies through marches, sieges, and harsh winters. Meat was appreciated, but it was usually viewed as an addition rather than the center of the diet. Historical records show what happened when Roman armies lost access to grain. During one campaign, the army of Corbulo survived entirely on meat due to supply shortages. Even though they still had food, the soldiers suffered greatly because meat alone could not properly sustain them. Another account describes Julius Caesar's army surviving on fresh beef during a siege after grain supplies ran out. To modern people, this might sound like a luxury, but Roman soldiers considered it a hardship. Grain was essential for maintaining energy and morale. This explains why the pork and farro dish prepared for a Roman centurion was such a balanced meal. The farro provided the grain that Roman soldiers depended on, while the pork added valuable protein and richness. The wine sauce elevated the dish beyond ordinary military food, making it something suitable for an officer rather than a common legionary. Once the farro became soft, the cooked pork would be placed on top together with some of the wine sauce. Pepper, dill, and leeks added additional flavor and texture. According to descriptions of the dish, The wine and dill created the strongest aroma, while the garum remained subtle in the background. The defrutum added sweetness that balanced the sharpness of the wine and salt. The farro itself remained soft yet slightly chewy, giving the dish multiple textures rather than feeling like simple porridge. Ancient Roman recipes were rarely exact, so modern interpretations often vary. Some cooks prefer to crush the farro into a smoother pulse while others leave the grains whole. Some believe the leeks should be cooked more thoroughly to release stronger flavor. Roman cooking was flexible and depended heavily on personal interpretation and available ingredients. That uncertainty makes recreating ancient meals both difficult and fascinating. What this meal ultimately reveals is the reality of Roman military life. Even one of the greatest armies in history still depended on simple necessities. Soldiers needed grain, water, wine, firewood, and meat to survive. Officers enjoyed better versions of those same essentials, but no one escaped the constant struggle of feeding an army on campaign. For a Roman centurion, this pork and wheat pulse represented more than just dinner. It reflected rank, discipline, military organization, and the enormous logistical system that supported Roman expansion across the ancient world. It was practical enough for a military camp, yet refined enough to remind officers of the civilization they represented. In the end, Rome may have conquered with swords and strategy, but its armies marched on grain, wine, and the rare luxury of fresh meat. If you have enjoyed my video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel Legionary for more history videos and amazing stories. And if you watch the full video, don't forget to leave a comment. Even a simple thank you really means a lot. Stay connected and wait for the next video. See you soon.